Divine and infinite Spirit, grand architect of all things that were, that are, and ever will be, we thank you for this time together to practice that art of healing, that God-given right to each and every individual to work with whenever there is a need. Amen.
Amen.
I'd now like to hand over to Elaine for your reading and address today, please.
I'm hoping today to challenge a few preconceived ideas, ladies and gentlemen, because as spiritualists we've accepted for an awful long time that energy we work with is available right across the universe. And now we find more and more scientists are accepting that the mystical and the scientific actually go together. And I want to take a couple of short readings from this book called Punk Science, Inside the Mind of God by Dr. Mania Samantha Lawton. And the first one I want to share with you is from a chapter called Putting the Soul Back into Science, Waking Up the World. In all the headlines and political wrangles that make up our daily news, there is an important story that often goes unnoticed. Something is happening to the human population. They are waking up to a new reality. There are no official surveys on how many or in what ways. This is not a subject discussed in the Sunday politics, yet it is changing the view of many. The Western world, so long devoid of any discussion of soul, is starting to find it was there all along. It is expressing itself in many ways. Children walking out of schools to protest against war and violence. Medical schools teaching complementary therapies due to public demand. Weekend workshops to discuss angelic experiences. The growth of mediums on television, computer, and in everyday life. We seem to be growing in the awareness that there is more to life, that human beings are more than just the obvious. As many turn their attention to psychics and the paranormal, the skeptics have demanded proof. They claim that some of these practices are not scientific and therefore cannot be true. For many years, there has not been a scientific explanation for distant healing, for mediumship, and other psychic practices. But science has changed. Science has revealed that the universe is much stranger than we first thought. As science reveals these strange secrets, its parallels with esoteric knowledge are becoming clear. The frontiers of science are revealing that the universe behaves just as the mystics have told us all along. We are finally gaining a logical explanation for paranormal phenomena, and it's in modern scientific language. We are finding that the soul or consciousness is not only a part of science, but it is fundamental to the universe. The study of consciousness is becoming more common. We can divide those researching consciousness into two camps. Those who believe that consciousness is only a result of brain activity, and those who believe that consciousness is much more fundamental. The second short reading I'd like to share with you is taken from a chapter about, I've got to get the words right because it's long words, sympathetic vibratory physics. And it's entitled, What You Vibrate, You Create. The principle of SVP can be applied to many life situations. Have you ever noticed how some people repeatedly attract the same bad luck into their lives? Maybe they have relationships with similar people. They may start to believe that their life has to be this way and that these events are external to them. However, the patterns that exist in our lives are a reflection of our own consciousness. We each have our own signature vibration of consciousness, as does every person and even every object. So we attract towards us those people, objects, and situations that resonate with us and reflect who we are. Even those aspects of ourselves that we deem to be negative traits. For example, if a woman holds a deep belief that she is unworthy of a kind partner, she will often attract the type of partner who will reinforce that belief. The behaviour of the partner may not be apparent at first. This reiterates the fact that this is not a conscious decision, but is an attraction based on resonance. The idea that life's circumstances are connected to our inner processes forms the basis for many disciplines of personal development. These encourage us to change our thoughts and change our lives. However, even veterans of such practices are vulnerable to events that appear to be outside their control. And this is because we attract reflections of both our conscious and subconscious beliefs. The subconscious beliefs also have signature vibrations that can give rise to situations in life that unfortunately may not be pleasant. Experimental data suggests that as people increase in awareness, their inherent frequencies increase. With more people becoming interested in personal development, it is likely that the average bandwidth of the human population is increasing. And as this process occurs, more people are reporting experiences that are outside of ordinary life, such as angelic encounters. Is the increase in bandwidth allowing them to come into contact with a higher frequency via their own sympathetic resonance? Historically, spiritualists generally talk about spirit. And as we've evolved through time, we've realised that's just a narrow aspect of our understanding. We accept, for example, those of us who like crystals, that there is a frequency of vibration given off by the crystals. We know too, historically, from mediums tested in Victorian times, that the very act of putting your hands towards a plant, not even touching it, you can encourage it to grow by positive thinking, or adversely, by being cruel and unkind to it, you can cause it to wither and die. We know that animals are incredibly psychic and have a great perspective of where we are, when we're meant to be there, and how we are. And that's often been proved by a dog who will wait by the door for its owner's return. And it may well be that they're away at work for hours on end, but literally half an hour before that person walks through the door, it will be taking up its position, ready and waiting. We know too from geologists that even the very rocks and soil and minerals in the earth have a frequency, a vibration. And as I say, what scientists is now beginning to understand, it isn't just a vibration, but it is a consciousness. That doesn't mean that the rock at the bottom of your garden is going to get up and think about where it is and what it's doing. But probably there are more rocks amongst the human population than there are in our gardens. Because we often don't think about where we are, where we're going, and what we're doing. But certainly I have found as a medium constantly studying that the impact of consciousness and energy on my growth, both as a human being and a medium, has really been quite startling, and people like Laurie and I and other mediums often try to challenge each other by pushing the boundaries of our understanding further than the comfort of our religion gives. Now, why is that? Well, when modern spiritualism first arose, and it was modern spiritualism because if we go back prior to that, there has always been an ancestor worship, even in cavemen times. So if we just look at modern spiritualism, it came at a time of great hardship in the world. The 1840s, when there was, lots of poverty, lots of hardship. In fact, if we think about Victorian England at that time, we were still sending children up the chimneys to sweep them. In certain other cultures, children went down mines. They were working in quarries. They were undertaking very dangerous work in spinning mills. We hadn't really developed, if you like, a societal consciousness of our duty of care to the lesser and more fragile of our species. And then spiritualism started to wake us up to our responsibilities. Now, what were they? Well, hang on a minute. You can't die. Well, your body can, but hey-ho, your soul can't. Well, that's a bit freaky. What do I do if I haven't got a body? Well, the mind still works. You have a consciousness. You can still think, be interested in your loved ones, what's happening on the earth plane. And if you have a consciousness, perhaps along with it goes a conscience. And so you'd start to think, well, maybe we shouldn't send children up chimneys and down mines and to do dangerous things. Because if adults don't do it, why would we expect a more fragile species to do it? And then they started to look at our habits of farming, how we look after animals, how we look after the very soil we depend on to grow our crops. And this wasn't just due to a religion, it was due to a wakening up of consciousness that we are connected to all these things that we once felt were separate from us. I have a very boring life. I was watching a farming programme the other day. Actually, I have antecedents who were farmers. And so it's often fascinated me, why would they want such a hard job? I can't think of anything worse than being so reliant on the weather that if your crop's ruined, you're broke. But I listened to this quite young farmer, I think he was in his 30s, talking with passion about the state of his soil and the effect that had on the crops he produced. Talking with affection about the cows in his herds and how they all had names and personalities and were treated with kindness. And I was, quite frankly, gobsmacked. Because I'd not realised that even in things as hard and onerous and physical as farming, that consciousness shows through everything that young farmer did. And so I started to look around at everything we do. And by we, I mean me, because I know me better than hopefully anybody else does. And I thought about how I interacted with our pets. We have 2 French bulldogs, noisy little devils. I'm convinced they're alien species in dog's clothing, but we won't go down that path just yet. And I realised that when we're cross with a pet, we shout at it. And so the poor little thing cowers, doesn't it? It takes the energy from the voice and reacts to it. And I thought, well, Elaine, put your money where your mouth is. Try using that mind of yours. God knows it gets very little use these days. And so now I give them a look. And with that look, I'm trying to communicate with them what I feel about their behaviour. And don't laugh, but it works. Because I don't get angry. It's very hard to be angry with a look, and a thought. It's much easier to say, what are you doing? Do you really want to chew that slipper? And joking apart, I realised how telepathic other species are. I'm not saying I've mastered it. I am not a dog whisperer. Don't bring your problems to me. I have enough trouble with my family, let alone the pets. What I'm trying to learn for myself is how much I can influence this world by using my consciousness to change its consciousness around me. You know, we rely very heavily as human beings on the spoken word, and that is such a little part of what we give out. Think for a moment about the people in your life you never resonate with, the person at work, the relative you haven't seen for years, the neighbour down the road who always parks across your drive. Think about how you react to them, even though you don't speak to them. What's the first thing you do? Miserable so-and-so, you wait till that parking space is clear, and I've got a few words to send you, but you never do. But already you've created an energy, a resonance, that has gone out from your conscious and subconscious. And whether we accept it or not, it affects the person that we are thinking about. And what's worse, it affects the energy around them. Don't believe me? Try it and see. But remember, the one thing we have to accept is what goes around comes around. So if you want to be negative and send out lots of pain and distress and anger, well, go for it. It's your life at the end of the day. But be prepared to reap the consequences of what you have sown. Such a simple understanding. So they're laughing at me because for 4 years with Donald Trump, my thoughts were very unpleasant. And I knew one day it would come back to hurt me. So we get rid of Trump, and what do we get? Putin. Well, there you go. So I haven't managed to control my thoughts yet. But I understand that sometimes absolutely swamping people with loving, healing and uplifting thoughts has a much more profound effect on them than being angry at them. Anger is a very destructive vibration. It is sent to destroy. There is no other excuse for anger because that comes from our emotional layer of our aura. It's a response. It's not thought about. It's not understood. It's sudden reaction. So we have to learn to move out of the emotional layer of the aura when life challenges us. And we have to move into both the mental and spiritual levels and use our understanding of our consciousness, our subconscious, and respond from that vibration. I know we all want to change the world for our loved ones. We want to see it a positive experience for our children and grandchildren. We actually want to leave a world for those yet to come. But quite frankly, I don't think we work at it hard enough, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am, an old lady now, and I am old, but I'm not telling you how old. My grandson keeps asking, I keep telling him I'll have to kill him if I tell him.
Very spiritual.
I'm getting away with it for the moment, but he is only 12. I know that we have to work harder. And this doesn't mean sitting there and sending lots of prayers to Putin. You can, but I don't think it will go through the television very well. It will go through the cosmos. But not just big issues. Every single issue in our life, we should be looking at it from a more logical, analytical, rational point of view, and then applying a thick layer of spirituality over the top of it. So what if that person is unpleasant? Do we know what they have lived through in their life? So what if that person is mean and unkind? Are they alone? Do they have anyone to care for? Have they forgotten how to care for anyone? Does anyone actually care for them? When we start to look at the world as if we are all the same energy, doesn't matter gender, race, colour, creed, we must stop giving titles to things. It doesn't matter what denomination. We are a vibrating energy. We are a species that gives out energy all the time to every single thing in this universe and to the universe itself. And it's nice that the scientists have finally woken up to the fact that maybe some of our mystical members of past lives and past history weren't so dotty that they should have been burnt at the stake or stoned to death. Just maybe the world would have been a better place if we'd learned to listen in the first place. Maybe we can still change the world's consciousness. Maybe we can learn to listen to what this world is trying to tell us. And maybe, ladies and gentlemen, just one person at a time, we can make profound differences and live to see them. Thank you for listening.
You know, when I talked to Elaine, she said, oh, nobody wants to listen to me, I've got nothing to say. And every time you pull it out of the hat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I've just got to say this as observational. Before you said about with the dog sending your thoughts out, somebody here was getting a bit rambunctious, and I just pointed, thinking, sit, and he went...
I'm going to try that on my husband next.
Oh, okay. Oh, me or you?
I am.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. Anyway. We now move on to our hymn for today. If you wish to sing along, please do. If you hum, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy the music. During this, Paul will be taking the collection for the further work of this, your church.
Perfect.
cut and paste is very easy and straightforward.
Some people.
For some people, yes. Obviously not for me, so never mind. We caught up in the end. For those of you at home, the hymn sheet just went horribly wrong. Never mind.
Good song.
So, yeah, lovely song. Anyway, before I hand over once more to the wonderful Elaine for the evidential mediumship demonstration, you know what I'm going to ask, I'm going to say and implore, and you know what you're going to ignore and do exactly opposite to what I'm just about to say. If Elaine should come to you, nice clear response with a yes.
Yes.
No. Maybe. See, look, you know it. All right, the first one that breaks that rule, I'm going to march you out the door. Elaine, my darling.
Joking apart, I just want to pick up something he said. It is not me that pulls it out the hat. When we work inspired, we're actually listening to the voice of spirit. And I mean that seriously. I'm a clairaudient, so they put the words into my subconscious and I let them filter up. So they're not my words. I wish they were, but they're not. The little funny bits in between are me. The rest is the spirit world. Okay, can I come to the lady with the white jacket and the lovely bow in your hair? May I speak to you, sweetheart? Thank you. I've been aware of a lady stood behind you throughout the singing of the last... she's laughing. Hymn? She went. The last song. And I want to say I have very much the feeling of mother or grandmother's energy. So I know it's mother's side, but I need to work with her. As she's coming in close, she was talking to me about how you've been very aware of what you do with your thoughts. Do you understand this? Yes. And I don't feel that's been a particularly new experience for you. She's taking me back in your life when you'd have been at senior school and how you were already conscious not to give away too much of what you really believed or thought at any one time. And I know that this came to you, as she's telling me, through positions in your life that were painful and uncomfortable. Do you understand this? Yes. And she said it made you a little bit reclusive at times. It's all right, I'm trying to drag her in with my mind because she's stood so far behind me. I'd say she's probably about 5'6", 5'7" as she comes in. Her hair's not as bright as mine. There's a lot of grey in her hair as I see it. Thank you. She said, tell them I'm a tidy body. And when she said that, I know she wasn't carrying much weight, but there was a little bit of comfort in her. Would you understand that? And I feel I don't feel it's mum, I feel it's grandmother on that side. And I want to say she was a wise old bird, because she made me, but she was a wise old bird. She would think things through. And as she watched you becoming not reclusive, but more introvert, she understood what had driven you to that realization. And she's just saying she wished at that time people understood the impact, not just of their words, but of their thoughts and attitudes on other human beings, because we can be incredibly cruel with just a look. Do you understand that? I know now, as she's bringing me into your everyday life, you work very hard to live by your principles. This is what she's telling me. Even to the point I feel that there's a sort of running list of people that if you don't pray for, you send them positive thoughts because they need an upliftment in their life. And she watches that from the spirit world because she's literally got this list in front of me and she's saying, Frida, tick, John, tick, Mrs. Smith at number 26. Oh, half a tick, please, only half a tick. So I know that she's teasing you, but she admires your self-discipline. Can I put it that way? Thank you. She suddenly shot the energy to your father's side of the family. And I need to say to you, she's telling me, the gentleman on that side could be a little bit narrow-minded. Would you understand that? And thank you, because she's laughing now. She said if it couldn't be seen, heard, smelt or tasted, it didn't exist. So they would have struggled with this way of understanding. But she's asking you, stick at it, move forward, because what you don't see is the impact you have on other lives. But what the spirit world see is that wonderful vibration that goes out from you. God bless you. Thank you for working with me. Can I come to the gentleman right in the corner, please, sir? Thank you. May I speak to you? Is that okay? I don't want to disturb your sleep, you see. I'm teasing. There's a gentleman coming in, and he comes in on father's side of the family, very upright man, I'd say. He probably just touches the 6 foot as he stands behind me. And although he was teasing by saying the snooze, he would actually be a man of few words, I want to say. He wasn't by nature jokey and amiable. Would you understand a man on your father's side of the family, about 6 foot, of that nature, please? No, you don't know him, or no, you didn't know. You didn't know anybody there.
Not my father's side.
No, I can't swap them to the other side. The spirit will get a little bit upset about that.
I don't know anybody on my father's side.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting to hear, because he stood here like this with me. So I was waiting for you to clarify it for me. If you didn't know your father's side, that's fine. Are you happy for me to work with him? Thank you very much. Because I want to bring in this personality, you see. So I know by nature he would have been, not dour, because that's a good old-fashioned Scottish word, but he would have been very sort of fixed in his mindset. So I feel very much that would have been an energy on that side of the family. And as he's bringing it down to your generation, he's saying, you will consider other options in life, but yours have to be considered first. So I know you have a ranking order. Well, I actually agree with that, so that's fine, but I'm not so sure about that principle. So he's saying that there is an analytical view to what you decide is important or not important in life. Do you understand this, sir? But having said that, he's not knocking your intelligence, because I know, as he shows me your energy field, that you're a very inquiring mindset, to the point that, quite frankly, you can be a bit annoying at times, because it's why? What? Who said that? How did that happen? Do you understand that, sir? And he's teasing you about this because he's poking me in the back, because he said, you can talk, lady, your first word to your mother was why. And he's quite right. My mother talks about that. So we share an analytical mindset that wants explanations. Do you understand, sir? Now, where is the writing around you? Because he's suddenly put paperwork in front of you. Are you writing something? Do you write at times about your thoughts, your perceptions, please?
Not really.
It's either no or yes. You're not allowed not really.
No.
Okay. Have you ever written down things that have come to you, please, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you know it's hard work? The dead are so much easier than the living.
With a crowbar in, you can either prize it out or beat it
The
out.
reason I'm pushing you, sir, is this gentleman would have been quite intelligent. And I don't say that lightly. He was a sort of man that really did inquire about the world around him. Even though I feel his energy would have been much more to do with some sort of physical work, he never stopped asking why of the universe. And that trait is in your DNA. And he's saying, it's no good just asking why. When you get an answer, you need to record it, because somewhere along that long line of eternity, that will prove useful. So what he's saying to you is, when you get a feeling about something, an energy, a field of understanding, please start keeping records, because you never know when you will be called upon to help someone else with that understanding. And he's not saying that to give you any sense of ego. He really does mean it. We don't very often in our movement share our thoughts and share our understanding, but that's how we grow. That's how we learn. So please, sir, perhaps a church newsletter once every 3 months with people's thoughts in. Yeah, I know you struggle with technology, dear. I do understand that. But, you know, what we learn and we share with others avoids them having to go through a similar problem, okay? I know, too, it's just brought the energy around to your heart chakra, and I know despite you're quite, you're like me, you've got a work face, can I put it that way? But there's a big heart underneath that you try very hard to keep covered up. Don't work with spirit, they see right through your clothing, mate, so you can cover it up all you want, because he's telling me there are times even you have shed tears for what the world's doing to itself. Do you understand, sir? Well, can I say God bless? And I shall look out for the pool news in the future, okay? God bless you. Thank you for working with me. Oh, right. Can I come to the young lady in the flowered dress, please? May I speak to you? Thank you. I have an elderly lady coming in. So I should just stop me saying elderly. I forget I'm well into my 60s, heading for 70. This lady would have looked her age, I have to say. She aged before her time as she comes in. I feel that it was almost like life had worn her down. She'd faded and became a shadow of herself. I know I'm working on a family vibration, but I'm not sure which side yet because she's not placed herself. All right, in you come, darling. All right. Again, I feel I need to go to mother's side for the vibration. Would you understand this? And as I say, it's the pale energy of her is not who she is now. You must understand that. This lady's gone back to full energy, full form, full intelligence and consciousness. And I'd have liked her in her heyday. She's a lady who had a big heart. And I don't mean that in any altruistic sense. She would love doing stuff for other people. If you turned up with a friend, you all got fed. If someone knocked at the door or asked a cup of sugar, they'd get 2 pounds of the stuff. This lady was incredibly generous. But I know, as I say, as life went on, she faded. And the person she ended up before she passed, you didn't recognise anymore. Can I say that to you? Because I know, too, the mind is struggling to remember names and places. But the physical body really let her down. This is what she's telling me. Because she was laughing at me about my stick. She said it would help, dear, if you used it more often, because mine sits in my car usually. So I know this lady had to have help with her mobility, even down to sort of very basic tasks like getting dressed and getting cardigans on. There were parts of her that just didn't move anymore. As she's coming in close to you, she's talking to me about the sadness that has surrounded you recently. Do you understand this? And how she's taken me to her heart. She has heartache on your behalf, can I put it that way? And she wants the tears to stop because that isn't going to change the situation, I have to say to you. She said, what will change the situation is for you to get your second breath, get up and get on with it. Do you understand this? And because she said what you can't see is the troop of family members coming in behind her now to support you. And you've got a lot of family in the spirit world, haven't you? I can see them. It's like your own private army now building around you. And she's saying, we are here and we are only ever a thought away. Don't think you've got to sit there in prayer for hours. You think of us and bang, our energy's there surrounding you. I know too that health-wise things have been a bit difficult. Do you understand? And she said, we're boosting you both physically and mentally because we need to bring you up. Now, she tells me you're a big softy for the animal world, aren't you? Yeah, all right. Because she just said they don't hurt you like human beings do they? And she's saying, you know, you should have gone into that sort of work because that's where your strengths are, being with animals. Do you do any animal healing, can I ask?
On my own, yeah.
Good, because I feel this is the vibration she's putting before you. And I know that people laugh, oh, animal healing. Every living thing needs some form of healing. So she's asking that you continue. Now, she's taking the energy forward about 3 months. Where are we now? We're June, aren't we? July, August, September. Is there something about an anniversary in September, a birthday or passing or something, please?
Her wedding anniversary.
Okay. But I also need to say to you, I feel there's going to be a door opening in September. And she's laughing. She just said, you'll get in trouble for predicting. I'm not predicting. She is, all right? The spirit world are giving me the information. She's showing me an opening of a door to take you forward because she tells me whatever you're doing work-wise at the moment, it bores you stiff. Can I say that to you? You can be honest. Is there anyone here that works with you? We won't tell them.
It doesn't bore me, but it's very draining.
Okay. Well, she said we need to give you something that puts the spark back in you. So in September, I feel new ideas, new pathways will start to appear for you. And she's asking you, when you see them, follow them now, okay? Because I feel you've been treading water for so long, all right? And she needs you to move forward. Because as she shows me your energy going back in time to childhood, you were very intuitive as a small child, weren't you? And she said, you've put that on the back burner for so many years, it's got to stop. That intuition is your God-given right as a being. Use it now. Use it as much for yourself as for all those people around you, okay? That's why it's there. It's your psychic sixth sense, okay? All right, and now just before I leave you, the month of March just shot above your head, please. So that has to again be anniversary, passing, birthday, something. Okay, so God bless you, darling. Look out for September. Can I, oh, right. Sorry, I'm just going to separate the spirits here. Can I come to the lady looking at me first? Because it just put you both together. So we're not going to have any spiritual groping on a Sunday, all right? Okay. Thank you. As I come to the lady, I nearly said the older lady and they went mature. So as I come to the mature lady, I have to say a voice was saying over my shoulder, and as a gentleman and a lady together, she's so like her grandmother. So I've got a gentleman who would have been 5'11", he's not quite the 6 foot. The lady, I'm 4'9", so she'd have probably come in about 5'5", and they come as a package. Do you understand that? But it was she's so like her grandmother, they said. And they weren't just talking physically, can I say to you, although you have the physical appearance facially. Thank you. And the gentleman said, and the curvaceousness of the grandmother. I think he was a bit frisky, you know, when he was alive. Yeah, oh, right, okay. Well, we'll leave that aside because he's very proud of her, can I say that? But they say, your mindset, your way of looking at the world, because I can hear the lady's voice now. She said, you don't take no prisoners, darling, do you? No, that's it. Cross that line and you're dead. Off you go. But she's saying that with a sense of pride because she tells me, if I look back through your history, you've not just hit potholes, by golly, they've been mining in your life, haven't they? There's jolly deep recesses where you've used your own spirit strength to get you through it. And as she says that to me, I know too that there has been an element of, can I say, betrayal at times. Yes. People have let you down very, very badly. And although that's cut you to the quick, it's your determination, the lady's saying to me, it was, okay, won't do that again, sunshine, off we go. And you just literally picked yourself up. Now, I know at the moment, you're like me, you have to watch where you put your feet, don't you?
Yes.
That's right. Because we seem to think that we're fairy light and we end up down all sorts of holes. But she's saying you also need to be very careful about the amount of rest you're getting, because she's showing me you don't sleep terribly well, do you?
Yeah.
She's talk about a tornado. It's a wonder you don't strangle yourself in your sheets at night, because she said you're going round and round and backwards and forwards. She wants you, all joking apart, she said, if you need 40 minutes in the middle of the day, have it, okay? Thank you. She said you can tell them you're praying. It won't matter. But have that time to yourself. Because I need to say this to you, and I'm really sorry about it. Well, on one level, I'm sorry about it. You ain't going anywhere soon. Do you understand?
Right, I understand.
Okay. Because I know that thought's been going upstairs, because the gentleman's going... And he's just took a padlock out of his pocket, so I'm going to have a word with St. Peter, okay? Padlock's going on the gate, all right? So I know he's saying, work to do. Do you do healing as well, please? Do you do healing as well? Sorry?
I said date.
I know, but there's such a strong healing vibration around. I can't believe the amount of healing energy in this church today. Because what they're showing me as I look at your auric field, around, just beneath your shoulders at heart level, is the most amazing blue. And that tells me that there is a self-discipline about healing. It's about sending out for other people. And I feel very much that even if you're not technically a healer, I need to say to you, why not? And don't tell me you're too old. He said that. Because you're never too old for the spirit world, okay? And I feel there's a lot of energy in you that could be used very positively, as long as you get your rest and watch where you put your feet. Harry just called very quickly there,
Yes.
please.
Yes,
Oh, right. No, there was two names came through together. There was an Albert,
yes.
but I got Will, as if, and I can't tell if it was William or Wilbert, because it came through in the middle of the Albert. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes, I understand.
Thank you. And I know too, as that vibration comes in on your father's side, we're looking at, I've got army uniforms. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And I need to say 1 and 2. Does that make sense to you? Because the gentleman for WW1 is dancing with his gaiters. You know, they used to have
Yes,
those,
yeah.
because he thinks that's very sexy, you know, he's like showing off his gaiters, because it always makes me laugh when you see those strappings round their leg. But he's saying, Thank you. He just said it was a god-awful war, but at least we behaved like gentlemen towards each other. Do you understand
Yes,
this?
I do.
He said because the next generation in WW2, they could not believe the horrors they witnessed. Can I say that to you?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you also understand why he's taken my energy to Europe, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Because he's saying, and it never stops, and it never stops. So I know that a lot of your praying is for areas under that sort of energy. Now I need to leave you because I've got to come to the lady in front, but God bless you. Thank you for working
Thank you
with
very
me.
much.
I have no idea why the energy sat on your lap too, but it did. So I have a tall gentleman, and actually say he's over the 6 foot as he connects with me. He could possibly be 6'1", 6'2". A very elegant man, his energy is. Quite trim in the build, not an ounce of fat on him. I want to say a very deep and serious thinker, intelligent, intellectual, would love to discuss important issues in life. He was not the sort of man that could make light-hearted conversation. He wouldn't do coffee morning type conversation. He was very much a deep thinker. Do you understand a gentleman of that vibration in spirit, please? Okay. Well, he's standing dead centre, so he's not showing me which side, but I know I'm looking at either granddad or great-granddad because of the level of intelligence I've got in this man. It's not what I call new thinking. It's very much old-style thinking. Okay, you sort yourself out in a minute. I want to bring him in closer because he's talking to me about your mind and how little of it gets used. Can I put it to you? Because he's saying she started life with such amazing mental potential and she's literally sailed through. And he's saying, where are the challenges? Why are you not, thank you, why are you not out there searching for new lands, new knowledge? Because he's literally put, you know, like the old intrepid explorers of the past, backpacks, boots, safari suits and hats. He's literally covered you in that sort of outfit, and he's saying, if you think we know anything about this world, you've only scratched the surface. And he's not just talking geographically, he's talking metaphysically. You understand this, don't you? Because as he's showing me your energy, I know you have experienced metaphysical energy around you, haven't you? And in fact, a lot of what was said in the readings, you just thought, well, I know that. Yes, I can see it. He's showing me your auric field. And as I look at the you know, there are 7 layers, 7 chakras and 7 layers. I know that the one you work on most is the metaphysical vibration. And as he's showing that to me, you have a very personal understanding of whatever the divine mind is, don't you? And that, he's showing me you try very hard not to allow that to be abused by other people's viewpoints of what God is or isn't. Because it's very important to you. He's showing me that within you there's a core that seeks the real truth, the knowledge, and he's asking you to keep pushing. All right, come in. Right, he's moved into your father's side and saying, we're looking granddad and great-granddad, okay. But I've got this, I almost want to do that as if I may have worn something that I would hold on to at times. You know how you sometimes get lawyers in old films would pontificate? He has that vibration about him. But it comes from intelligence, not from ego or arrogance. Thank you. And as he says the word arrogance, by golly, you've had to face a lot of that in your life, haven't you? Yeah, he's showing me. What he did was he put all these figures like 10-pin bowls and then literally threw a bowl at them, and that's what you had to do, was knock them down, didn't you? Polite, quiet, with a lot of feminine charm, but they were there to test your mettle. And he said, you did a good job, you did a good job. You didn't allow your negative side to come through. Can I say that to you? I'm being told very quickly too, you know someone in the spirit world with who had breast cancer, please. She doesn't have it now. She just smacked me, don't have it anymore. Because once they go, everything's gone, and they're in the spirit body, which has no problems whatsoever. Okay, but you also knew someone who passed with leukemia. Yeah, because they're putting up their blood cards to show me their results. By golly, you've got a doctor's surgery over the other side, haven't you? Yeah. Okay, but if we go far enough back, you would know someone that lost part of a leg too. And this is family vibration, and I feel it was traumatically amputated below the knee, please. If you can't remember that, will you ask the older members of the family? Because this is a young man. It was either a motorbike accident or something involving a vehicle, but it feels like a motorbike to me. And I know he would have lost his lower leg, and that was my left one, so it'd be interesting to see if I got the leg right. Okay. Now, thank you. I'm saying to the older gentleman, why is it important that he comes forward? He said, because I can't swear, don't do that. Because he's a bit of a nuisance at night in your house. Because he tells me you get strange lumps and bumps and creaking and breathing. Is that true?
Yeah, just recently.
Okay, it's the young man with 1.5 legs. All right? He thinks it's funny to haunt you, and it's not haunting in the sense general public thing. He's there to create fun and energy, because he's saying, you're always saying things to upstairs like, well, go on, prove it, show me, show me. He said, so I'm stomping around her bedroom, blowing in her face, moving the curtains, and generally giving her a hard time. So next time that happens, please say, I know you're there, now stop it. I've recognised your presence and I need to sleep. But I have to say to you, I don't think he's going to go away, because I feel he's attached himself to you as a helper. And he wants to push you forward very much. You're another one, you know, that needs to write. You need to get stuff down. And is there some sort of thesis you've been considering?
No, yesterday I thought that I need to go back to writing. I used to do, my life coach used to do, just stay right for 5 minutes, doesn't matter what it is, and someone really found purpose.
Right, well, I'm really going to stick my neck out and give him a headache here. Okay.
Another.
Yeah, just a minute. Have you heard of automatic writing?
No, but maybe that's a similar thing.
Or, no, automatic writing is when you actually allow the spirit world to write for you. You just hold the pen, and they then scribble the words away. And what this young man wants to do is get close enough to you to allow that overshadowing. You're not haunted, you're overshadowed as their energy takes control of the nervous system and writes. And you will not know what you're writing. It's only at the end of it, when you look at it. In the beginning, all that happens is some words seem to pop out more than others. But as you practice with the spirit world more and more, you get whole sentences, then whole paragraphs, and in the end, whole books. But it's an art that takes self-discipline, because you have to really trust the spirit world and allow them really close. But please, have a go, and if you get anything, show it to Laurie, because it often takes an eye that's used to seeing the scribble from spirit to see what a word means. Okay. And the funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is to all of you, the spirit world want to see a closer contact with the physical world again. And if we go back just to the start of modern spiritualism, we had materialization, we had apports, we had automatic writing, we had full trance, we had gales that would go through a room, horses and carriages that would pull up to the door and then vanish. They want us to have that phenomena back again. And you're all going to say, why? We see it on the television every day. Because we're still a disbelieving bunch of so-and-sos. All right? The power of the spirit is phenomenal. I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool, Bible basher, but all the things you read in any of the holy books, the phenomena, were real incidents. And we've forgotten. People did move mountains. They did have chariots of fire. They did, see people rise from the dead. And they accepted it. They weren't the disbelieving bunch of people we are today. So, automatic writing. And on that note, I'm being told to shut up from upstairs. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, I'm really sorry I didn't get round more of you, ladies and gentlemen. But can I say to you, the power of potential in this church today is phenomenal. And please don't sit there and think, what can I do? What can I offer? If you really want to do something for spirit, they will work with you 101%. So get up and go forward. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Elaine. And I'll mirror those words. Don't think, what can I do? Think, what can I do? That's all it takes. Notices. This coming Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we welcome back Roy McKay to take a divine style service, so similar to the service format to today, and that's at 3 p.m. Next Sunday at 11 a.m. we have Jacqueline Hill joining us, who's travelling down from London to take our service. Monday week is our healing development evening. This year we will continue on with the first and third Monday of the month, but because some months have got 5 Mondays, it just got all very confusing. So next year it will just be alternate. 1 week on a Wednesday, 1 week on a Monday. So Monday week for the healing development evening, and the amount of healing you've picked up on, there's 14 healers in here
Yeah,
today.
it's phenomenal.
And talking of the healers, thank you so much for the work that you do in service to the church. Much appreciated. At the front, the wall baskets, there are a selection of herbs. There's some fresh mint, sage, and a really peppery marjoram on this end. If you want some take home, just cut some off. And if you want to know which one's which, don't have the one with the white flowers, leave that one alone. But the others are absolutely fine. If you need scissors, just ask, and there's some in the kitchen there. We are getting very close to our target of 2 weeks of accommodation being raised through the raffle of this little beauty, made by the lovely Sarah Jane at the back of the church there, and donated to us. What we're doing is we're selling tickets £2.50 each, and it's to support Sophie and Grace, which are 2 caravans out in the Forest of Dean. The lady that runs them, Jane Ager, absolutely beautiful, wonderful lady, and they are available for veterans with PTSD to just go and have a short break. We all, you know, £25, it depends where you are. Some people it's like nothing, other people it's, I haven't got it. So what we're doing is we're trying to raise 14 nights, so we can break it down into raising a night at a time. So the tickets are £2.50. Once we have got the list full, we will do the draw in a very public fashion and gift that on, because it just gives people that opportunity just get a bit of peace and quiet. You know, when we go out, we're so fortunate if we sit in our gardens or go in the country. Not everybody has got access to that, and a lot of people really need it, really do. So thank you, Sarah Jane, absolutely beautiful. Tickets are available from any of the church offices after the service. Our online activities, meditations, we have online on Monday evening at 7 o'clock, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. I know there's been a bit of disruption recently because there's just been so much going on here. Our Saturday night lyceums continue at 7 o'clock on a Saturday evening. This week we have Margaret, no we don't, that's next week. We have a guest to be announced this week. The week after we have a lady from South Wales, Margaret Challenger. And believe you me, you really want to hear what she's got to say, because I was just dumbstruck and fell instantly in love with her. She's just so honest and so truthful and so knowledgeable, absolutely beautiful. Elaine, my darling, if I could ask you for the closing blessing, please.
Thank you.
But do not run away after the closing blessing.
Can we just come together once more, dear friends? Divine Mind, we thank you for the love and the harmony we have shared here this morning. And we ask that each one of us can take a bit of that into our everyday lives. For there are many out there who are so in need of your light and your love. Let us share this joy with them. Whether or not they understand our belief system is not important, for we are all connected, we are all moving forward, and we ask that you direct our work for this, as always, with great love and great healing. Amen.
Amen. Elaine, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful service. Thank you to you and those who work with you in Spirit World. Wonderful. Thank you everybody who's here today and joining us online. But before we go, it's Dad's Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's have all the gentlemen up. Shush! Let's have all the gentlemen up, please. Come on, don't be shy. Come along. And you, Ted, definitely. Come along, in front, come along. You don't listen, don't come in this church expecting an easy ride, because it ain't going to happen. So we can have Hello, Mum. We can have that dance. Yay! Come on. All right, it's not the full Monty. Don't panic. Come on. Ah. Well done, dads, wherever you are. Well done, dads. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful game. I look forward to seeing you either here, online, or whenever you're available. Absolute joy. Thank you. Take care. God bless.
You should have put the village people on.
I'll go, oh, yeah.
That one I feel.